Hi friends, you'll probably hear the generator running behind me as I talk to you since our power is out once again from another winter storm. We've been busy with a lot of different little projects. We've been finishing up some old ones and beginning some new. Every winter is a challenge for me as the sunlight levels are much lower, and right now the isolation is making it harder. With those things in mind, I tried to prepare for this winter. I've been trying to practice good routines, gratitude in my heart on the hard days, and making the most of little trips out thrifting for my little Etsy shop, as well as messaging, video chatting, writing little letters, and a few little visits. Sometimes I get in a rut with filming and editing and never want to deliver you half-hearted videos just for the sake of putting something out there. So I decided to take a little unplanned break these last few weeks. But we've been capturing moments along the way this past month, and I'm excited to share our January with you. Sometime in December or January, I don't actually remember which month, we were gifted some Canadian geese. I understand that this will be hard for some people, and I respect that too, but we are a homestead and we do enjoy fresh meat. So we processed the Canadian geese and cut up the meat, and we've been enjoying it throughout this winter. It's been a nice addition of a different option for meat to enjoy during our pantry challenge.
And 30 grams and 3 breasts.
Wow.
So how many pounds is that?
2?
Yeah. I think that's closer to 2.5, isn't it?
Yeah.
We have more Ziploc bags still?
Yep.
Yeah, I need some more, please.
Okay.
A big part of our January has been decluttering and reorganizing difficult spots in our house. I'm a big fan of not leaving a space that is just stressful and isn't working well, not leaving it that way, but actually taking the time to reorganize it and make it work better for you. So there's a local page that started out for us in Digby area. It's called Buy Nothing page, or Digby Buy Nothing or something like that. And it's actually a big idea, I think at least across North America, if not larger than that. But the idea is you can post any item that you no longer need on there, and then someone can just comment and ask for it and you give it to them. And this is great for items that are maybe something you would only sell for like $2 or $3 on Marketplace or at a yard sale, and it's just not worth your time, or if you just want to give something generously. I was a part of one when we lived back in Ontario, and I'm really excited that it started here. it's a really cool opportunity. Also, you can put up there and say you're looking for a certain kind of coffee mug, or you can ask for anything as well on there. And it's just a chance to gift things and receive things. So kind of like a free gift economy. So I was able to find some different things in my cupboards that day and share some things on there. I've also received some really cool things like an immersion blender that I'm going to use for soap making and different things like that. So it kind of spurs on the excitement of decluttering, because you find cool things to share with others and it gets it out of your house as well.
Just finished grinding up that red lentils, and now I'm going to use it here to make some feta and red lentil dip, but unfortunately we don't have any feta, so we're going to have everything else except for the feta. And basically what I did was I took the ground up flour, the lentil flour, and I added it to 2 cups of water, and brought the water to a simmer, whisked in the flour, and then I continued to whisk until the mixture thickened and was smooth. And I took it off the heat and let it cool for about 10 minutes. Then I chopped up some garlic while I was waiting for that to happen. And then once the mixture was cool, then I added the spices, which is clove of garlic, 1 teaspoon turmeric, 2 teaspoons cumin, 2 teaspoons ground coriander, half a teaspoon of ground ginger, half a teaspoon of crushed red pepper, 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Add that all in there, mix it all together, and then hit it with the immersion blender. And then basically that's when I put it back on the heat, whisked it some more to basically just to make it smoother and thin it out a bit. Could have added a little more water here if I wanted it thinner, but I kind of wanted a thicker one because I had just made some fresh pitas to go along with this. That's basically it. Just take it off and serve it warm. Normally you would with this recipe, this is when you would add some more feta on top, just to crumble it on top, and then yeah, I've been using it as like a sandwich spread throughout the week. So I have my homemade buns, some chicken, and some of this spread on there is kind of like a substitute for mayo right now, since we're in the pantry challenge and we don't have any oil to make the mayo. So and I really enjoyed it. I think it would definitely be improved with the feta, but I still enjoyed it. Lots of spices, lots of flavor.
I've had some flannel material sitting away for quite a while. My sister-in-law gave it to me a couple years ago, actually, before we moved out here. And I've been meaning to make some cleaning cloths with them. I used some flannel cleaning cloths at their house one time and absolutely loved how well they worked. And so I've been wanting to do it for a while and just kept putting it off. And so I finally sat down in January and made a whack load of flannel cleaning cloths. I highly recommend going and getting a big bolt of flannel from someplace where you buy material, and it doesn't have to be your favorite pattern or anything, although I think this one's kind of cute with all the bright colors. And these things clean great. I basically just cut a bunch of strips and then cut 2 matching squares over and over again. I turned the outside pattern inside together, sewed around 3 of the sides, flipped it inside out, and then rolled in the hem of the ends and sewed it up and had a little pouch basically, and they've turned into great little cleaning cloths. Biscuits are one of my favorite foods that I have a hard time sourcing in Canada. If you've watched the vlog for any length of time, you probably know that Josh is Canadian, but I am from the good old South. And I was used to eating biscuits throughout my childhood and teen years, and most of church functions had biscuits, and eating out you had biscuits. And I came to Canada and went out to dinner with some friends and asked for a biscuit with my meal, and the lady said sure, and she brought me a dinner roll and thought it was a biscuit. And I had that happen a couple of times when I would go out to eat over the years, and have come to realize that Canadians oftentimes call biscuits scones, I guess, but it depends on who you ask. Some people call them biscuits still. And sometimes people think of biscuits here as cookies. So it's quite funny how a little bit of culture difference can change a word quite a bit. But anyway, love to serve biscuits with soup. When I make chicken and green beans, I like to bake a couple of biscuits. Josh and I don't like to eat a ton of biscuits with each meal or a ton of bread products with each meal, but we like a little bit. So what I've found is really a simple hack is to make a big batch, or sometimes even a double batch like I did on this day, and then get them all cut, and I put them on baking trays and toss them in the freezer. And basically I'm flash freezing them, so that way I can take them off the pan within a couple of hours. I usually forget about them for a day and then come back the next day. I pop them off the pan and toss them either into a big Ziploc bag or into like a Tupperware container or some kind of other freezer storage. And then when I'm making a meal and I want a quick carb basically, or a bread-like item to add to the meal, I just go grab 2 or 3 out. Generally with a meal I eat 1 and Josh eats 2, and that's just what works for us. I decided, since it was officially February when I filmed this, that I would shape them like hearts, because why not? I'm not going to share the biscuit recipe instruction by instruction in this video because it is technically someone else's recipe. I will link it down below. I use this same recipe every time because it's tried and true and I love it. I do make a couple of changes. I add a little bit of sugar to the recipe, and I also switch out the milk for water because we just don't keep a lot of milk on hand. And I've had no problem with a nice rise. Usually what I do to cut these biscuits instead of a heart-shaped cookie cutter is I take the lid ring of a wide mouth mason jar, and that works perfectly.